It wasn't easy, but somehow we've managed to find 10 awesome horror movies that you can watch on Prime right now.
Yeah, it is slim pickings, but we have got awesome ones. And I gotta say, trying to pick ours, it was really quality over quantity, wasn't it? No, the
Yeah.
opposite, sorry. It wasn't quality over quantity. I was going through the list and I was like, oh my God, there's some shit on Amazon. Like if you go through the menu, you got really good ones the first. And if you keep scrolling, you probably did the same. It goes
Yeah. Scroll for
beyond
ages.
shit. Yeah. Films that like you and I haven't even heard of, and we've heard of every shit film you can
Hey,
imagine, isn't it?
speak for yourself, boy.
But
There
I'm
isn't a
saying you and
horror
I.
film I don't know. No, I know.
Yeah, you got the posters up behind you.
I will say the Netflix one was a lot easier. I think I
Oh,
got about a list of at least 15, 20 and had to cut that down to 5.
yes. Yeah,
But yeah, the ones I've picked for these ones were bare
I know.
minimum,
I don't know what they just chuck any old crap on there, don't they? There seems to be
Yeah,
like.
absolutely.
Anyway, so my first pick, okay, out of my is Zombieland. It came out 2009. It's a great film, okay? It's universally loved. It's a comedy horror. We're starring hell of a cast: Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Amber Heard. She's in it as a zombie.
Don't forget Bill Murray, boy.
Bill Murray, yes, Bill Murray. Yes, it's an awesome film. It's a basic premise: zombies take over the world, and Jesse Eisenberg has all these rules we follows. You got to keep your cardio up.
Always
What's the
check
one?
the back seat.
Always check the back seat. What's the toilet one now? Never lock yourself in the toilet.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, he's narrating the movie, meets Woody Harrelson, who really loves the zombie apocalypse because he loves taking them out, zombie kill of the week. And they meet these sort of scam artists, Emma Stone, and I forget the girl's name, the other girl who's in, what's her name now? She's in
Yeah, the young girl.
Little Miss Sunshine. Anyway,
Sunshine.
she's in
Yeah.
loads of stuff. And it's awesome. Sequel's not so good, but I highly recommend this film. But one thing I did notice watching it, what?
The sequel's great. What are you on about? It's
Nah,
not so good. It's a
it's all
fantastic sequel.
it's all right. And not a lot of people talk about the sequel because it's kind of a forgotten thing. It's inoffensive, but whatever. Are we talking about the sequel or the first one?
You're the one that brought it up, boy.
Well, I gotta give some shit. Do you know, I watched it the other day and I thought there's no reference to whether these zombies are actually dead in it. I don't know whether they're just 28 days later type zombies because there's
Maybe.
no resurrection in this film at all. But
Yeah.
check it out. Zombieland. That's my first pick. What do you got then, Kurt?
Yeah. Wait there now. I have to say one thing
Go on, then.
since we're talking about Zombieland. It has probably got my favorite opening of all time. The slow motion opening
yes.
with Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah.
That is one of the most epic openings of all time. The sequel is great. And I hear that, well, Emma Stone says that she would love to come back to this every 10 years because there's 10 years between the first and the second one. Yes, I love both of them. Cracking pictures.
And do you know what? I know that the stripper with the tits, zombie tits. I take my chances. Yeah, do you know what? I'll have a pop. In fact, I'd rather have a pop with her than Amber Heard.
Yes, safer. The safer option.
Much safer.
You won't end up in court with that zombie, will you?
Yeah, less evil. Right, what do you got then? First pick.
Right, my first pick. We're going back to 2019, and we've got a movie directed by Ant Timpson, and it's Elijah Wood's Come to Daddy. Now, the less I say about this one, the better, because it is one of those movies that you need to go in absolutely blind. But the basic synopsis: you've got a guy named Norville, played by Elijah Wood. He's never met his father before, and the film literally starts with him arriving outside his father's house. And it's a secluded home on the beach, one of the nicest homes you'll ever see. Every time I watch this film, I get jealous. And the best way I can explain this is he goes to this house, and if you've seen The Visit, that's kind of where this film goes. He goes there. I'm not saying the twist is the same, by the way. It's got that same feeling where you've got someone who goes to a place, they don't know anything about this person, but they are related, and strange things start happening.
Yes.
And Elijah Wood just plays this oddball character. He's a bit of a prat. He wears designer clothes, and he's got a limited edition iPhone that's gold plated. And he kind of brags about celebrities he's brushed shoulders with and stuff. And his father's not interested one bit. He's like this recluse who lives on the beach.
And he can
He's not
smell
interested.
bullshit in there. The
Yeah,
father.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a bit of an oddball movie,
Yeah.
but I love this film and it's extremely underrated. I don't know anyone that talks about this movie. I've gone back to this one a few times and I showed it to you, Jenks,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
2 months back. It's a really good film.
Yes, I'd say the only kind of relation to the visit, like you said, not a same spoiler, is that there's just a question mark around the father. You're like, who is he? What is is he legit? And it's a bit of a mystery, and I love that about it. Yeah,
Yes,
uh,
that's exactly it. That's the vibe I was going for with the
yeah,
comparison. Yeah.
yeah. No, awesome pick. Right, my next pick is Disturbia. It came out 2007, and it stars Shia LaBeouf, Carrie Ann Moss as his mother, and you've got it's a basically a take on Rear Window,
Taking a
Hitchcock's.
court for it.
Was it?
It was actually taken a court. All the
Nice.
Neighbor Next Door movies and Disturbia was actually taken a court over
What
the
well,
comparisons.
Fright Night wasn't though, because that's a
Well,
take in it.
the thing is, right, is this one was a lot closer to
Yes.
Rear Window because he's actually stuck in his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, Shia LaBeouf's on tag, and in Rear Window, he's held up in a wheelchair.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
this one's the closest to Rear Window.
So basic premise: he's got a tag because he's done something,
Sorry, I
and
took that away
I
from you.
know. Thanks for that. David Morse, the big guy from Green Mile. He's in loads of films that nobody really knows his name. He's just
Langoliers.
Langoliers. Yes. Yes, and he thinks the neighbour's murdered his wife or was his girlfriend. I can't remember now. And it's
No,
just
it's
awesome.
just a woman he's picked up on the street.
Right, that's it. Yes, and it's awesome. It is a proper remake of this premise,
Yeah,
but it's very good. It's very hard not to enjoy it. It's not as good as The Burbs, obviously. That's the ultimate Rear Window film, and
100%.
but it's a really good, fun action thriller horror.
Yeah,
It's not
definitely.
quite horror, but it was in the horror section when I was looking, and I thought, well, I'm having that because there's nothing else to pick, and I love that film. If you really love Rear Window and you don't fancy Disturbia, watch the Simpsons version of it, Part of Darkness, where he thinks Flanders killed his wife. That is one of the best episodes ever. Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, definitely
I
check it out.
Good timing. I actually showed this to my girlfriend about 3 weeks ago because it's on Netflix as well. I
Yeah,
didn't know it was on Amazon. But I was the right age for this when it came out because I was a young teen and I was the target audience. And I was really into Shia LaBeouf at the time. He was doing
yeah,
great movies. He'd done Holes, Transformers, all these great thrillers and great kids
yeah.
films. And I absolutely loved this film. I had no idea Rear Window existed when I watched this. And it's just an absolute cracking film. Shia
Yeah,
LaBeouf back then was a proper stud, like a great star and someone I
yeah.
actually followed.
He was cool, wasn't
Um,
he?
yeah, super cool, like, and really likable as well.
Yeah,
Cracking pick. I love that film.
yeah, yeah. And he's been nuts now, unfortunately, I think.
Yeah, he's gone and come back a few times, but I think he
Yeah,
might be gone this time.
yeah,
I
probably.
think he might be gone. Although he's with Mia Goth, they're having like what the hell?
They're perfect for each other. They're both fucking mental.
Yeah, yeah. Have you heard the allegations coming from the Maxine set with Mia Goth?
Oh, what? What?
Apparently she like shunted one of the extras in the face when he was on the floor and she like laughed at him. I find it hard to believe, but who knows?
She didn't kick the guy's balls off, did she? Like in the film.
If I find out right, the extra that made the allegation is the guy who got his balls kicked
Yeah,
off.
my balls.
I'm
That wasn't in the script. That was ad libbed. My balls.
You thought it was hard to watch. I had to live it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes. Right. What do you got
Right.
then?
My second pick, I'm going to show my true horror stripes beer now, right? And we're going all the way back to 1987, and we've got Michelle Soavi's directional debut, Stage Fright. Now, Michelle Soavi was Dario Argento's protege. He's in all his films. He makes small cameos. And then when it got to the stage where he was ready to direct, Dario Argento started producing and writing movies that he was going to direct. Stage Fright was the first movie that he directed, and it's basically about a group of stage actors. They lock themselves in a theatre for the weekend to practice for their upcoming stage musical. Unbeknownst to them, they're locked in a theatre with an escaped psycho. It's very much like Halloween, but instead of the Michael Myers mask, he's got an owl mask on. And it's just an insane, great Italian giallo type movie from 1987. I absolutely love this film. I love Michele Soavi and I love his relationship with Dario Argento. If you don't know him, you will know him from Demons. He's the guy with the half metal plate in his face that gives the girls the tickets at the start of the film.
All right. Yes. Yes. I know.
And through his connections with Dario Argento, he's Italian royalty. He directed The Church, Cemetery Man.
Yeah.
He's just awesome. And this is a great film. It's ultra violent. It's ultra Italian. And it's one of those movies that's got a great awful dub. For anyone that likes the slasher movies and they're not that familiar with the Italian scene, this is an absolute must watch. And it's a great foot in the door
Yeah.
if you want to get into Italian horror movies.
Hey, you'd be proud to be. I've actually seen Cemetery Man. It's the one with
Have you?
Rupert Everett, isn't it? Yeah.
That was the last good movie directed. He kind of went off then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cemetery Man's great.
I won't go that far, but moving on.
You're such a
Right.
snob.
Snob, the opposite of a snob. You're doing all the fancy Italian films, and I'm like, nah, shit. Subtitles.
Fancy Italian film.
Subtitles. It's like reading a book. Right. My next pick, it's very generic, but it was slim pickings on Amazon Prime. It was Saw 10 or Saw X.
Hey, we're supposed to be hyping people up for this. We're promoting Prime.
No,
Come on.
No, okay. What I mean is, I'd love to have more obscure, fancy ones, but this is pretty generic. It's a great. I don't mean it's a generic film. It's a generic pick. Yeah.
Yes. Of course. I'm just trying to stir up shit here, Jenks. I'm sorry.
I know. You upsetting me.
I'm trying to get all the fans on my side, so when I do go solo, everyone follows me. You know.
Yeah. Enjoy his all subtitled solo. Anyway, Saw 10 or Saw X came out last year, 2023. Stars Tobin Bell and various other actors, as if I'm going to learn their names. It's a prequel. It's probably the third best one, in my opinion. The first one, the second one, and I think this, to be honest. Now, the worst thing they ever did, spoiler alert, is kill off Jigsaw in the third one. Big mistake.
Yeah, and they regretted that decision.
It wouldn't be the big mistake if they stopped at 3, but they kept on going for another 25 fucking years. And he is the best thing in it. He's a very good actor. The dialogue he has and delivers is amazing, absolutely amazing. He's very underrated. I do feel for him because I don't know why people don't use him for other films because he's fantastic.
He's 83. Yeah. How is he 83? So he must have been about 81, 82 making that. And he delivers such a great performance in that film. Yeah, he's 83 years old.
Well, this film is great. It's a prequel. It's somebody he wants to cure his cancer because he got cancer, as you know, in the third one. And they promise him some procedure. It's a scam. So he has revenge on the people who scammed him out of his money. And he tortures them in various ways. Now, this is not for the faint-hearted. Now, most of the Saw films are hard to watch. The first one's quite lame in comparison to some of the shit that happens. But this one, in particular, there's a scene with some leg chopping, right? Much worse than the first one. I watched it in the cinema, right? And I was kind of watching it through my fingers. And when I got, I didn't want to miss it, but I didn't want to commit to complete viewing.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing that people do, like half watching it. It's horrifying, and it's very good. The only gripe I have is the person who really deserved to be tortured didn't really have their comeuppance as much as the ones who were lower on the scale, if that makes sense.
That was my biggest problem with the movie. For anyone that has seen it will know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
She deserved more, and in a bad way.
And the one with the leg probably, like, it's a bit harsh, you know. You know, and yes, but I won't go into too much detail, but because there's some great kills in it, because it's relatively new, so I wouldn't give spoilers. Watch it. Don't think that it's another shit sequel. Forget all the other ones, and most of them are shit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're all shit ish. but 10 is good. That's a strange
Th-
recommendation.
they're all enjoyable if
Yeah,
you're into
watchable.
torture porn. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
into gore, they're all great. Like, but if we're
Yes.
going for really good storytelling movies, 1, 2, and 10 are the best ones by
Yes.
far.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. What else you got then, boy?
Right. For me, we're going to 2020, and we've got Dave Franco's directional debut, and it's a highly underrated movie. And I've got The Rental. This one
Yes.
stars Dan Stevens, Jeremy Allen White, and Alison Brie. And it's basically about two couples who go away for the weekend to this stunning house in the countryside. I want to say countryside, Jenks.
Is Dan
And
Stevens?
again, Dan Stevens is one of the couples. Yes, Dan
Oh,
Stevens is
I
in
couldn't
there.
remember him in it.
Yeah. Again, same. I've picked ones I can't really talk about because it's still quite new. I don't want to give
Yes.
anything away. Um, but similar to Come to Daddy, this is a film that you need to go in blind. That's all you need to know is two couples go away for a weekend getaway. They have a bit of fun. They start drinking. They do some drugs, and I just want to say there's someone stalking around
I
the
I
house
would
at night.
I would say they go to this apartment, this holiday let, and there's something off about it. That's
Yeah,
pretty much all you need to know. And that, to be honest, that's all I knew from the trailer. And I was like, I'm sold. I love
yes,
holidays that go wrong. It's so good.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, but that is all I'm saying about that one. I can't dive into it too much,
Yeah.
but if you're not sold, you should be sold that Dan Stevens is in there, and the guy's an
Uh,
absolute god.
yes. Oddly enough, I watched him in a trailer yesterday, and he was in Cuckoo, and
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo,
Yeah.
not Cuckoo, Cuckoo, Cuckoo or
Or it might
Cuckoo,
be Cuckoo. Oh, no,
Coo.
Cuckoo. Cuckoo.
Let's stop saying Cuckoo. um,
Yes, Hunter
uh,
Schafer. It looks amazing. I can't wait.
yeah. So I really like the rental. I'm a big fan of these films. In fact, the older I'm getting, the more I'm moving away from traditional
Low
slapstick
concept
horror.
thrillers.
I love low concept thrillers. I really enjoyed The Guest, which is like Dan Stevens. Uh,
Five-star
I
movie.
really like things like that. And I really enjoyed The Rental. Some people might say not enough happens, but I love those sort of like, oh, there's something off about
Pressure
everything.
cooker, one location movies.
Yeah.
Movies that rely on a great script, great characters. It
Yes.
doesn't rely on constant action or constant gore.
Yes.
Same as you, Jenks. I do love my slapstick movies, but as I've got older, I'm
Yeah.
appreciating these movies more, and they're the movies I look forward to the most. And
Yes.
The Rental, fair play to Dave Franco. He jumps in straight for a movie like this, coming from a comedy background. It's not like he's known for horror or thrillers,
Yeah.
and he does a fantastic job with this one.
And
I
I,
love
I,
this film.
I think it might have got a little bit lost in COVID. I don't know. It was a kind of a
Maybe,
forgotten
yeah.
film.
No
Who
one
knows?
speaks about it.
No, but I highly recommend it. Right, my next pick, I would say is a classy pick. It's Poltergeist 2. Now, it came out 86. It's a really good sequel, and I would say it's very underrated. Now, it's not as good as the first. It's not as traditionally classic as the first, but what this does really well is it does something different. It doesn't just chuck him in a house again and shit, it's the fan again, or it's another couple that happens. It takes the law and twists it. So you've got Carol Ann. They've let Carol Ann and the family. They've left the house. They're living with the grandmother. They changed the law a little bit that it wasn't just built on an Indian burial. No, not an Indian burial ground. No, they built it on. They built it on the first house there. It was built on graves, but it turns out it's worse than that. It was built on Indian burial ground. Something else was going on, and you have this horrible preacher called Cain, and he's an old decrepit man. In fact, I think he was dying of cancer during the shooting, so he was looking ill as it is, and he's so creepy. But it's just some genuine chills in this, especially when the dad gets possessed. He drinks that like worm, and
Yeah.
it's just such a good film. Now, yes, it's not as good as the first one, but if you, it's a fucking good. I would like to say with sequels or remakes, either do it better or do it different. Don't do the same thing. And this did something very different, and I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, of course. And do you know what it is? It's the Return of the Living Dead effect. Now, I'm not saying Poltergeist 2 is as bad as Return of the Living Dead Part 2, although I like Return of the Living Dead Part 2, but I can admit that it's a bad film. I'm just saying the
Yes.
first movie for two of them are so iconic
Yep.
that the second one kind of falls beside. And if Poltergeist 2 was a standalone film, it'd be a much more well-known, good
Yes.
ghost movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
cracking
and
sequel.
one thing about it, what I noticed as a kid, because there was an older sister in the first one, and she was played by Dominique Dunn, and she's missing from the second one. There's no mention of her, and I didn't realize she'd got murdered by her husband or partner. I think she was
Mm.
shot, and because there was no internet back in the 80s when I watched it, so you just didn't know. It's like, oh, where's
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
daughter? They just written her out, and it's horribly tragic, isn't it? My God, she's only young. I think
Yeah,
she
I
was in
know.
her 20s maybe. But yeah, very good film, great villain, highly recommended. Right then, what's your next pick then, Kurt?
Right, so my next pick, again, this is massively underrated. It's got a terrible Rotten Tomatoes score. Every time I mention this movie, no one knows what it is. And it's 2006's Paradise Lost. And this one came out a year after Hostel. It's got very similar themes. You've got a group of Americans and some British. They're traveling to Brazil, and on the way, their bus. I think it goes. They're traveling along a cliff, and the bus swerves and is hanging off. I butchered that, but the basis of the story starts there, and they get off the bus, and they're told that they're going to have to wait a while. So they find this nice little beach with a party going on, drinking, hot girls. So they stop the night. They all start drinking. They wake up the next day, and all their stuff have been stolen. And it's got those similar themes to Hostel. I
Yes.
won't say much more about that one, but that's the opening of the film. But they wake up on this beach, and then it's about them trying to get their stuff back. And they meet this local who tells them, "My uncle lives in the forest, or the jungle. I want to say jungle in Brazil. Lives in the jungle. Follow me, guys. I'll take you to his house." And what's waiting for them in that house is horrific,
Yes.
and it matches Hostel's tensity when they get in that house.
Yeah.
Horrific imagery, some torture porn scenes. Um, I love this movie, and I will say it's not as good as Hostel, but there's one scene in particular in this film that's probably one of the best put together scenes ever, and it's when everything's kicked off, everything's happened, and they're basically escaping these crazed maniacs, and they end up underwater in a cave. And I think it's like a 10-minute sequence where it's all underwater, and you've got two guys chasing them, and they're just swimming through this cave underwater, coming up every now and again just to get a bit of air. And it's just silence, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
underwater.
So claustrophobic.
And it's horrible. And I rewatched it a few months back, and I thought, it's probably going to be crap. I hadn't seen it since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I was like, it's still great. And I
Yeah.
think this one is highly underrated. It doesn't get nowhere near enough love.
Is Chris Hemsworth in it?
No, you're
I'm mixing
thinking
up.
of Perfect Getaway.
Oh, is it? Is Josh?
Yeah, yes, something Hannah. Yeah, yeah, it's him.
Yeah. Yes. There's a guy from not Ghostbusters, Transformers, isn't it? Yeah, I can see the comparison with Hostel because, like in Hostel, you got these beautiful sirens, girls sort of luring these boys to like paradise, and then something horrible happens. And again, like The Rental, I love films that like holiday horror. It's so horrible, you
Yeah,
know.
and this one hurts extra because the place they are in Hostel isn't beautiful.
No,
But here is literally
yes,
paradise. They're on
yes,
this stunning beach with all these beautiful women. They're having the time of their lives. And then you wake up and everything changes.
yes.
But soon as it kicks off in this film, it always gives me a bad stomach. It's got that really uneasy feeling throughout. And if you haven't seen this one, guys, anyone watching this, there's a high chance you probably haven't. It's on Prime. This video's about Prime. Give it a
Is it
watch.
on Prime? Oh, right. uh, right. My last pick. I think this is my favorite of the bunch, but I haven't really been doing these in order. I've just picked five really good films, but gun to my head, I'd probably pick this. It's Final Destination 5. Came out 2011. It is one of the best ones. I would say 1, 3, and 5 are the best. 2 is pretty good. 4 shit. But this is the one with the bridge. Bridge
Yeah,
collapses. Gets same plot as all the other ones. He gets a premonition of the bridge, and he saves everybody, and then they all get killed one by one with different horrible, inventive deaths by
yeah,
death. And it's after the fourth one. So when I watched the fourth one in the cinema, that's the one with the NASCAR and there's a crash in the stadium. It's
The
3D.
3D one.
It was shit.
Terrible film.
Because like they're all sitting in the stadium and only that patch is getting killed. And like, hang on, it's on a racetrack. What about the people over there sitting? It's so nonsense. But you've got this one, and after that film, because the fourth one was meant to be the last one. In fact, it was called The Final Destination, as if like, no, that's a clever take. It's the final one, and it was shit. And it reminded me of like somebody making it like the last day of work. Fuck it, I'm gonna phone it in. But then they made this fifth one, and they put a bit of effort into it. It wasn't 3D, all that shit, and it's brilliant. Especially the won't spoil it, the gymnast part.
Oh, it's the one I always remember.
Like
That's the one that stuck in my head the most.
Yeah, do you know what? In the Final Destination franchise, all the horror monsters like Freddy and Jason can't compete with loose bolts and water spillage, and like electric and the water.
Yeah.
But the bolts, the bolts are like unsung heroes of monster movies. And there's a great, I'm just going to say this word, acupuncture session. That's all I got to say, really. I think if you haven't seen it, you can work out how horrifying that is. But
you don't need to leave that one to your imagination.
No, I love this film, and it's a great twist as well. And they've all got quite good twists, but this has got a particularly good one, so I'd highly recommend this.
Yeah, it's an extremely solid franchise, isn't it? There's 1 week film. And do you know what? If any of them were weak, you could probably forgive it with good deaths. But 4, it just killed me. There's one bit, right? This is the bit where I absolutely switched off on part 4, and they play into the whole 3D trope, obviously, because it's 3D, and I hate forced 3D, right? And there's a bit where it's on a grass and there's a lawnmower, and the mother turns around and she goes, "I've got my eye on you," and something goes through like a rock or something. Goes through the lawnmower and it shoots through the back of her head, and then it shoots out to the camera.
Yes, terrible.
And I thought, this isn't what Final Destination is. They're really like well-made, like gritty, horrible films.
Yes,
I know they're a bit of fun. I'm not saying it's no Shawshank, but they've got to be serious.
Yes. What's your last pick then, Kurt?
Right, same as you, Jenks. I haven't really
Final
put these in order. Can I speak?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were dramatic pause then.
Right, so similar to you, Jenks. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Similar to you, right? I haven't really put these in order. I've just picked 4 great horror movies on Prime. But my number 1 spot is the best film I could find on Prime. And I've got Fed Alvarez's Don't Breathe. I guarantee everyone watching this podcast will have seen this film. It's really popular. It had a great sequel, which I think is one of the most underrated sequels.
Very much.
This one came out in 2016. Fed Alvarez followed up his amazing Evil Dead remake with this absolute masterpiece. I love this film. I can remember going to cinema to watch it, and it blew me away. It's basically about a group of crooks who think they've got an easy target when they find out there's a blind man. He's an old veteran living in this house, and apparently he's got a lot of money stashed in there, and they think he's easy picking, so they break into his house. There's a few of them, and it turns out this guy is far from easy, and he's probably the most capable blind man you will ever see in your life. And it's similar to The People Under the Stairs. It's got very similar themes, and they're basically stuck in this house for the night with this crazed blind man who is extremely capable and extremely terrifying. I don't know how many there are, but this one is fantastic. Jane Levy pulls in another iconic horror performance.
It's so good.
Like back to back, she does Evil Dead and Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
And honestly, after I watched this film, I was like, oh my God, Fed Alvarez is the next big thing. He's the guy to watch out for. He's been quite quiet. He hasn't done enough for my liking, but obviously he's got Alien Romulus coming out soon this month. I can't wait for it. But Don't Breathe for me is an absolute 5-star film. I love it. And like I said, it's got a great sequel as well.
I love it as well. It's a really good choice. The sequel, again, I think it might have been lost in COVID because it came out round about that time, I think. I could be wrong. But yeah, it is a good sequel. But this one, I love it. Like you said, it's very much like a little bit of People Under the Stairs. but I can't remember the actor's name now. Who plays the blind
Stephen
guy,
Lang in there.
Stephen
Stephen Lang.
from Avatar.
Avatar.
He's this jacked, like ex-marine, very much like the character. It's like if you watch Avatar,
Yeah.
imagine he's blind and he's trying to get you, and he's locked you in a house, but because he's blind, and the house is all dark because he shuts the lights off, so he's in control because he lives in the
Yes.
darkness, and it's awesome. It's a great
It's
pick.
got some of the most intense scenes and original intense scenes. There's so many moments in that film where I went, that's actually original, and they play into so many things that haven't been done before. And I will say, there's one scene with a turkey baster that's got undesirable liquids inside
Yes,
there.
yes,
There's nothing more horrific than that in the whole
yeah.
film. If you haven't seen it, look for the turkey baster.
Yes, great pick. Right, guys, if you enjoy horror movies, rankings, please subscribe and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.